Level 1. The first transfer. The call comes at 2:13 a.m. You don't recognize the number. You answer anyway. A man you've never met gives you a routing number, an account name that doesn't match any country you've ever seen, and a figure that makes your stomach tighten. $18,400. Move it, he says. 2 hours. No greeting, no explanation, just urgency. You sit there staring at your laptop screen, cursor blinking inside a transfer field that shouldn't exist. The account is layered behind 3 intermediaries. You can already see the flags. The compliance system will catch it by morning. Unless it doesn't. You hesitate. Not because you don't know how, because you know exactly how. You split it. 3 wires, different jurisdictions, one through a shell account you helped set up 6 months ago for a consulting client, another through a dormant trust, the last through a digital wallet that shouldn't still be active. You move fast, not sloppy, clean. You hit send. Your chest tightens as the confirmations come in. 1 minute passes, then another. No alarms, no calls. No one stops you. Your phone buzzes again. Good, the man says. You're useful. The line goes dead. That's the moment. You don't realize it yet, but something shifts. You cross a line that doesn't look like a line. No ceremony, no warning, just a transfer. The next morning, compliance doesn't flag anything. No emails, no audit trail worth noticing. You tell yourself it was a one-time thing. It isn't, because 3 days later, another call comes, then another. Smaller amounts at first, $9,200, $12,000, always under thresholds, always layered. You start to understand the rules. No names, no questions, speed over perfection, and above all, deniability. You're not stealing. You're facilitating. You're not part of anything. You're just moving numbers from one place to another. That's what you tell yourself. It helps you sleep, at least for now.
Level 2. The quiet network. You stop waiting for calls. They start expecting you to be ready. The numbers grow. $40,000 in a week. Then $75,000, then 6 figures spread across 10 transactions. Nothing touches your name. That's the rule. You build distance, layers. You learn the geography of money, not countries, but vulnerabilities. Small island banks with outdated systems, Eastern European institutions with overloaded compliance teams, digital platforms that prioritize growth over scrutiny. You don't just move money anymore. You route it. You disguise intent. You make illegal funds look like something else, consulting fees, export payments, royalties. You learn how long money needs to rest before moving again. 48 hours, sometimes 72, never predictable. Your laptop becomes your control panel. 3 monitors, 12 accounts open at once, messaging apps that auto-delete every 6 hours. You stop using your real phone. You stop using your real name in any context that matters. The man from the first call becomes a voice among many. Different accents, different time zones, but the same tone. Direct, efficient, detached. They don't ask how you do it. They don't care. They only care that it works. You start getting paid, not in salaries, in percentages. 2% of every successful transfer. At first, it's small. Then it isn't. You clear $40,000 in a week. None of it touches your official accounts. You feel it before you understand it. Control. Not over people, over systems. Over rules that were never meant to be broken this cleanly. You stop thinking of banks as institutions. You start thinking of them as tools, and you're getting very good at using them. Level 3, the gatekeeper. They stop testing you. Now they rely on you. The requests change. It's no longer move this, it's can you handle this? A shipment gets seized in transit, $2.3 million frozen in a flagged account. Panic on the other end of the line. You don't panic. You analyze. You already know the bank. You know their escalation timelines. You know how long before the funds are officially locked. 36 hours. You build a solution. You create a chain of reversals and re-entries. You exploit a timing gap between two internal systems that don't sync in real time. You push a partial withdrawal disguised as a correction. It shouldn't work. It does. $1.4 million disappears from a frozen account, reappears 3 jurisdictions away, clean enough to move again. The voice on the other end goes quiet for a long time. Then, who are you? You don't answer, because that's the rule. You're not a person in this system. You're a function, a gatekeeper. From that moment, the flow changes. You're no longer at the edge of the network. You're inside it. People come through you now. New operators, new intermediaries. They need approval. Not official approval. Yours. You start deciding what moves and what doesn't. You reject transactions that feel wrong, too fast, too exposed, too risky. You don't explain. You just say no, and they listen. Because by now, your reputation is currency, more valuable than money, more fragile than anything else. You start to feel it, the shift. You're not just moving money anymore, you're controlling access. And with access comes something heavier, responsibility. Not moral responsibility, operational. If something goes wrong, it leads back to you, so nothing goes wrong. Level 4, the architect. You stop reacting, you start designing. Entire systems. They bring you a problem, too many transfers, too many flags, too many eyes. You don't fix the transactions, you rebuild the pipeline. You create shell companies across 5 countries, each with a purpose, each with a story that holds up under surface-level scrutiny. You stagger transactions across time zones. You build redundancy. If one path fails, 3 others exist. You don't just move money anymore, you make it untraceable. A $12 million flow moves through your system over 3 weeks. By the end, it looks like legitimate trade revenue. No alarms, no investigations, nothing. That's when they stop calling you useful. They start calling you essential. Your circle shrinks, fewer voices, more important ones. You notice something else. They don't tell you everything. They don't need to. You can infer. The scale, the urgency, the patterns. You know when money is tied to shipments. You know when it's tied to people. You don't ask which is worse. You just keep building. Because the system rewards efficiency, not curiosity. You upgrade everything, encrypted drives, air-gapped machines, physical notebooks that never leave your sight. You start thinking in contingencies. If this account freezes, you do this. If this operator disappears, you reroute here. If law enforcement gets involved, you stop that thought. Because thinking about consequences slows you down. And slowing down is the only real mistake. Level 5, the firewall. They stop protecting you. Now you protect them. The problems that reach you are no longer routine. They're failures. A major account gets flagged, not a small one. $38 million under scrutiny. Internal audits triggered. External agencies notified. Time is gone. They come to you because you're the last option. You don't have a clean solution. You have a risky one. You fragment the funds across dozens of microtransactions. You route them through high-volume payment processors where individual movements disappear in noise. You sacrifice a portion. $6 million gets locked. You let it. A loss is acceptable. Exposure isn't. The rest moves. Not clean, but alive. That's the rule at this level. Survival over perfection. You start making decisions that cost millions without hesitation, because hesitation costs more. You also start seeing the edges of the system. Operators disappear, numbers stop answering, accounts go dark. No explanations, no investigations, just absence. You don't ask because you understand the implication. You're not untouchable, you're just valuable. For now. You build safeguards, not for the system, for yourself. Dead man protocols, encrypted files that only release if you don't log in for a certain period. Leverage, quiet, hidden insurance. You hate that you need it, but you need it. Because at this level, loyalty is transactional, and transactions can be reversed. Level 6. The Controller. You stop taking instructions. You give them. Entire operations run through your approval. You don't see requests anymore. You see summaries, condensed reports of flows, risks, outcomes. You approve, deny, adjust. Your decisions move hundreds of millions weekly. You no longer think in transactions. You think in ecosystems, supply lines, demand cycles, cash flow velocity. You understand how money fuels everything. Without you, nothing moves. That's not ego, that's structure. They build around you. You also notice something else. Silence. Your phone rings less. Your messages are fewer, not because there's less activity, because everything is filtered before it reaches you. You're insulated, protected, and isolated. You don't know who's above you. You're not sure if there is anyone above you. That thought stays with you longer than it should. You test boundaries, push larger volumes through riskier channels. Nothing happens. No pushback, no correction, just success. The system bends around you. That's when you realize something dangerous. You're not just part of the system anymore. You are the system, and systems don't have exits.
Level 7. The Ghost. You disappear. Not physically, digitally, operationally. Your name is gone from everything. Your presence reduced to patterns. Decisions appear, but no one knows where they originate. Even the people closest to you don't see you anymore. They see outcomes. You operate through layers of intermediaries who don't know they're intermediaries. Instructions pass through 3, 4, 5 levels before reaching execution. No direct lines, no direct risks. You've built distance so complete it feels unreal. Money moves across continents without a single trace pointing back to you. Billions, not millions anymore. You stop tracking totals. Numbers lose meaning. Only flow matters. Continuity. You also stop feeling urgency. Everything is controlled, predictable, managed, and empty. You sit in a room filled with screens, each one showing movement you designed. You should feel powerful. You feel nothing. Because power at this level isn't loud. It's quiet, heavy, permanent. You can't step away, not because they won't let you, because there's nowhere to step to. Everything you built exists because you exist. Remove yourself and it collapses. And collapse isn't an option. Not for them, not for you.
Level 8, the architect above the system. You stop moving money. You shape reality. Governments shift policies based on flows you control. Markets react to liquidity you redirect. Entire industries feel pressure when you tighten or release channels. No one knows why. No one sees you. You're not a banker anymore. You're infrastructure. Invisible. Indispensable. Alone. You don't speak to anyone directly. You don't need to. The system runs on rules you wrote years ago. Self-correcting. Self-protecting. It doesn't require your presence. Only your existence. You spend more time thinking than acting. Reviewing patterns. Anticipating disruptions. You see everything. But you're part of nothing. No relationships. No identity outside the system. No version of yourself that existed before this. That person is gone. Replaced by something quieter. Colder. Permanent. You understand the final truth. Power doesn't free you. It removes the possibility of freedom. Because there's always more to protect. More to maintain. More to lose. You sit in silence as another cycle completes. Money moves. Systems adjust. Nothing breaks. Everything continues. Exactly as designed. And somewhere, a phone rings at 2:13 a.m. A new voice answers. Confused. Hesitant. Given a routing number. An amount. A deadline. He thinks it's just a transfer. He doesn't know it's a door. You do. Because you built the room on the other side. And once he steps through, he never leaves.